Good evening, everyone. Are you ready for a bedtime story? I've got the perfect one for you. It's from Hans Christian Andersen's fairy tales, and it's called The Flying Trunk. Shall we begin? Once there was a banker who was so rich that he could have paved the streets with silver. When he died, he left a fortune to his son, but the son lived merrily and spent the money fast. He made kites from banknotes and played ducks and drakes on the lake with his gold coins. Soon he had nothing left except a few pennies and the clothes he wore, a dressing gown and slippers. Even his friends left him, but one gave him an old trunk and some advice. "Pack up and be off," he said. The banker's son had nothing left to pack, so he put himself into the trunk instead. Then he pressed the lock, and suddenly the trunk flew up in the air. It flew up through the chimney and out into the sky above. Up it flew, further and further away, until at last it was flying over Turkey. There it swooped down and landed in a wood. The banker's son hid the trunk under a pile of dry leaves and walked into the nearest town. Nobody took much notice of him because Turks wore dressing gowns and slippers too. Soon the banker's son saw a palace with windows high above. "What palace is that?" he asked. "The king's daughter lives there," he was told. A fortune teller said that she will be made unhappy by a lover, so no one is allowed to visit her. The banker's son went back to the wood, got into the flying trunk, and flew straight up to the roof of the palace. Through a window he saw the beautiful princess asleep on the sofa. Very quietly he crept in. He woke up with a kiss and told her that he was a Turkish wizard from the sky. He spoke so sweetly that she was enchanted. Then he asked her to be his bride, and she said yes. "You must come on Saturday to meet the king and queen," she said. "They love to hear stories, so tell them your best tale, and they will surely let me marry you." She gave him a sword covered in gold coins. "I shall bring no other present than a tail," he said, and he flew back to the wood. He sat on his trunk and tried to think up a story. It was hard work, but at last he thought of one. Then off he went to buy a new dressing gown with some of the gold. Soon it was Saturday. The king and queen and the whole court waited eagerly to hear the wonderful tale. And indeed, the banker's son told such a lovely magical story that they were all enchanted. Yes, yes, said the queen, you shall certainly marry our daughter. We shall have the wedding on Monday. Next day, there was fun and dancing in the town. Cakes and buns were thrown from windows, and children hopped about trying to catch them. The banker's son bought fireworks of every kind and put them in his trunk. That evening he flew above the town and lit them off. Oh, glory! What a wonderful sight it was! The Turks were amazed. To be sure, they said, this is a real Turkish wizard who will marry a beautiful princess. The baker's son left the trunk in the wood and returned to hear what the people were saying about him. A wizard, they said, with a beard like flowing water, wrapped in a cloak of fire. The banker's son laughed at how he had tricked them. He felt happy as he went back to the wood. But where was his fine trunk? Alas, it was burnt to ashes. A spark from the fireworks had set alight. Now he could no longer pretend to be a Turkish wizard from the sky. He could never marry the princess, so she is waiting for him still, and he owns the world 10 tails. The end.